What is your end goal? I would and I do plan to buy an F40 someday. It's the benchmark of supercars, but for one major reason. I can pull up to any event in the world. I can pull up to any mansion, and the gates will open up. I'm paraphrasing an excerpt from the Rico's Way podcast as he answers the listener question, what car would you buy and modify with an unlimited budget? In other words, what is your end goal? As the year comes to an end, the dark anxiety that looms ever closer and weighs heavier on me by the day is that ever-present question. What is your end goal? It is currently October 2020 as I write the script for this episode of the podcast, and I have run CM Autohaus full-time for about 11 months now. What is my end goal? Every time I work with Grand Mighty Eric, yes, the 30K Corolla corner-balanced YouTube channel Eric, he always asks me the impossible, typically cramming 5 days of work into a 10-hour day. But the other thing he asks of me every time is another impossible. What is your end goal? CM Autohaus shares the building with Battle Garage RS. Not only is Battle Garage my favorite company of all time, but the owner and operator, Battle Garage Grant, is one of my favorite people of all time. Way back before I was helping him with annex suspension, back before he graciously gave me the opportunity to have a real shop space, back before he towed his race car to the very first car make Autohaus, which was my home garage, he asked me, what is your end goal? What is my end goal? I honestly don't know. And I don't know if I will ever really know for sure. But I can tell you that every day I am coming closer to it. To quote some wise and reassuring words from Mr. John of JSP Fab that really resonated with me during our previous podcast, the fact that you're willing to commit yourself so extensively into so many multiple directions means that you're going to find the path that works for you. So here I am, physically doing repair work, running the YouTube channel, running the Instagram page, running the Autohaus podcast, producing the Rico's Way podcast, and doing operations and social media marketing for annex suspension. What is my end goal? I don't yet know. But one key I learned this year is that the more I do and the more I experience, the closer I'll get to finding my end goal. I tell people all the time that my problem is I know the moves not to make, but I don't know the next moves I should be making in order to take me where I want to be in the future. And I guess a big part of that is not knowing my end goal. But I can tell you what I like doing and where I would like to be headed. Working on a low volume of unique vehicles and projects with a high dollar amount per project. I also love doing media work, documenting stories and knowledge, and also being able to give back to the community. But will the AE86 Toyota Corolla chassis take me to my end goal? Will sticking to one chassis my whole life take me to my end goal? Once again, on another cold, exhausting evening, Grand Mighty Eric told me in so many words, you need to jump straight to your end goal. Skip all the steps in between. Buy an R35 GTR or something and be the GTR specialist. Rico has echoed a different yet similar path of advice to me. Be the AE86 restoration specialist. Don't deal with the kids. Stick with grown established people and make your media cater to those people. Will the AE86 Toyota Corolla chassis take me to where I want to be in the future? This question weighs heavier on me by the day. Another person I really admire in the Corolla community is Swangbiz Devil Run Danny. In a recent Facebook thread regarding an SR5 AE86 on Bring a Trailer, he wrote, "It's 2020. I traded a Corolla quote-unquote race car for an M3, which I then sold the M3 and bought a low-mileage CTR, all in less than a year. You guys really need to take a step back and look at what 40K can buy you. All that time and money to make 92 wheel horsepower. When you live at the bottom your whole life, it limits your spectrum. Changing around brands from time to time allows me to come back to the Corolla market with new eyes and see what we should be doing differently. Spoken by one of the originals and someone so revered in the community, I really took these words to heart. If I want low volume and high dollar, that means moving up market. Cars that normal places either don't know how to work on or won't take on at all. Somewhere along the way while running the Autohaus at its current location, I told myself my goal was to take on a low volume of vehicles, but supplement it with income from the media work. I've since learned that media work is playing the long game and will not pay off monetarily until the future. And then depending on how I played, it may actually never pay off monetarily at all. So what am I thinking? What is the next chassis for the Autohaus to be known for? The chassis that will take the Autohaus to my end goal, or at least closer to it. Despite the continual big upticks in the AE86 market, I don't feel like this is the chassis that will take me to where I need to be. This chassis is still my life, and my tattoo proves it, but my sights definitely have to be set further. So what is the next chassis for the Autohaus? A recent pair of Nissans made something click for me. If you guys follow the CM Autohaus YouTube channel or follow me on Instagram, you know I had two JDM Nissans back to back at the shop. An R32 Skyline GTR and a PS13 Silvia Hughes edition. I've previously had at least 3 JDM Corollas at the shop, and a few things really stood out to me. The build quality of Japanese cars is far superior to their USDM counterparts. For some reason, the cars are also so much faster as compared to their USDM counterparts. And finally, they are all cool as hell regardless of their trim level. The owner of the R32 GTR said something very key to me when he picked up his car. It went something like, I realized that the repair I wanted to do was beyond my own ability, so I thought to myself, who do I trust to work on my Skyline? And then I thought of you, and I was like, oh yeah. Japanese market cars intrigue and excite the hell out of me. And at the moment, I feel like focusing on those cars will bring me closer to my end goal. Who knows? Perhaps the almighty Nissan Skyline is what my future is destined for. Well, at least that's how I feel like at the moment. That's it for this week's episode. If you like what you've heard, please subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. And please leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, as reviews really help support us. You can do it straight from your desktop. Don't even need an Apple device. This is Autohaus Z. Thanks for all the support, you guys.